morning. It is Thursday, March 26th, and today is the first day that the statewide Colorado stay-at-home order is in place. I am planning to get ready for spring quarter today, so I'm a senior at the University of Denver, and we start a new term on Monday. So I have new classes and need to order textbooks and just get myself prepared to do online learning for the rest of the year. I did want to say that this is definitely not the ideal way to end my college experience, and I'm totally there with all of the high school seniors and other college seniors out there who are mourning the loss of, our final time and all of the celebrations that we would have had. So that is definitely rough, but I am still feeling very privileged to not have to worry about food or shelter or things like that. So I know that there's people in a lot worse situations out there, and my heart really goes out to anybody who's being affected, whether it be because you're ill or because you're losing out on a way to provide for yourself or a home or really anything. Everyone is really being impacted by this in some way, and I think we're all entitled to our feelings of disappointment or whatever else it might be that you're feeling. So I'm not going to apologize for being disappointed about not having my final quarter of college as normal, but I totally recognize that other people have it much more difficult than I do, and yeah. That's just my little disclaimer. Please be following the local guidelines set out by your community and be practicing social distancing, and let's try and keep everybody safe and slow the spread of this disease. With all that being said, I still have to get ready for those classes, so we are going to do that today, as well as probably a couple other things I've been putting off. So let's get to it. I wrote out a little plan for today, just kind of a general sense of what I should be doing when, and some of my to-do list tasks. I'm currently staying at my aunt and uncle's house, and it's very nice. They have some extra space and are letting me stay with them. My first order of business in getting ready for the new quarter is going to be finding a couple places that I could study. So let's set up a nice little at-home classroom. I think this is going to be one of my main study spaces. It has this table that I can sit at, and it has happy yellow walls and good natural light as well. This is the view people will be seeing in my Zoom classes. I'm going to fill this out a little bit more later, but my plan is to try and have a general outline for every day so that I know what I'm doing during different times and don't have to spend a ton of time thinking about what to be doing next. Next order of business is ordering textbooks, so I'm going to be looking at the DU bookstore, and I'm also going to be looking at Amazon. I usually put in all the textbooks I might need in my Amazon wish list just to kind of see the prices and compare them to the bookstore. So down here they have it where you can find your course materials based on what your professors put in. I already put all my info in here. Honestly, a little bit rude how expensive my textbooks are for my last quarter of college, but it's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna order these 3 here and add this one for my Wines of the World class. I ended up ordering 3 of my textbooks from the DU bookstore website. They're doing free shipping to everyone right now. Hopefully that textbook gets to me quickly. 2 of them were digital textbooks, so that won't really be a problem. And then the textbook I was going to order on Amazon, it said that Prime delivery would be April 23rd, which is totally understandable. Amazon is getting slammed right now, but I need my textbook a lot sooner than that, so I texted a friend who's taken the class before, and I'm going to figure out how to borrow that textbook from her so that I can have it for the start of the quarter. The next thing I'm gonna do is set up my notebooks on my iPad, which is where I take my notes. I'm going to do a screen recording and put it in this nice blank space right here. The app that I use to take notes on my iPad is called GoodNotes. So this is what it looks like. You can organize it by folders and then create notebooks, and you can also import different PDFs and things, which I find really helpful because you can annotate those PDFs or just do different things like that. So if I have online readings, then I can just put them into the corresponding class folder and do everything out of that, which is nice. Also, I have the iPad in front of me, so if I'm not looking at the camera all the time, that is why. I have it structured, broken down by year, so I go into year, and then now I'll create a new folder that is, spring quarter. And then inside of that, I'll create folders for each of my classes. Next, I go into each of those folders and create a notebook for it. I always like going through all the covers and picking out what cover I want. You can also choose the type of paper that you use, so I usually use dotted paper now. I also like using the squared paper. It just a little bit depends on the class. Okay, so that is one notebook created. Now I'll go into my sustainability, create a new notebook, see if there's, oh yes, do a cute little plant notebook. And sometimes for a class, I'll make two notebooks, and I'll have one that's my class notes, so things that I'm writing down during lectures, and then a separate notebook for textbook notes where I'm taking notes as I'm reading through the text or different readings that we have to do. And finally, a notebook for Wines of the World. So I also have an app for all of my classes, the Canvas app, which I'm sure a lot of different schools use, and it'll sync up to different things. So if you go in, so here's my Wines of the World class, and if I go to Files, and here's the syllabus. So I can export this. Oh, okay, so I can export it to GoodNotes and import as a new document in Wines of the World. So then I'll have my syllabus straight in the same folder as well. And I can go back in and do that for my other classes or for like any of these other files as well. So that's a lot of the times how I'll move my readings in if they have them in Canvas as a file. So that's how I usually put things into GoodNotes and use it for my school stuff, and I don't know, I think it should work fine for online classes. Another tool I started using last quarter is called Trello, so I'm gonna set one of those up for this quarter. And you can pick a different picture. We'll do that one for now. So you can do it simply like that. This just helps me keep organized and everything. So I will look at my syllabus. So I know there's going to be a Wines of the World quiz, and you can actually look at this card a little bit more, and you can add a due date. So on here, it's due April 5th at 11:59. And then that's in there, and you can move the card when it's done. So yeah, that's basically how I use Trello. Before every quarter, I also like to back up my laptop to my external hard drive. I actually already did back up my laptop a couple days ago, but I do need to go through and delete some files that I don't need anymore off of my computer's disk so that there's some more space. I think I'm currently sitting at like 15 gigabytes of memory left, so that's not ideal. Especially as a computer science major, I need a little bit more than that. So I am going to put some more files onto my external hard drive and delete them off of my laptop. So a big part of the reason why I don't have a lot of space on my laptop is because I have all my YouTube files. You'll see here's the biggest in my desktop, in my YouTube folder where I keep all of the clips, and then eventually it'll show up too, but in movies, basically in iMovie, it saves all of the same files a second time into their library. iMovie basically makes a copy of everything when you're creating the video in there. So you'll see in here in the package contents for each of the videos that I've made, like this one, if you get the information for it, it has about 15 gigabytes stored for that, which includes the original media, so that's all of the video clips that are stored in a second place on my computer. Alright, so now I have a little bit more space, and as I get done editing a couple more of these videos, I will have even more space. Uncle Randy's doing his crossword.
I don't know the answer though. Stretches out is...
What's the other way?
Capital of Azerbaijan.
Oh no.
Eeks! Yay!
Yay! Now we have to do the New York Times one. I am back from my walk, and now I am going to start working on an Ionic React tutorial. So that's for my distinction project. I'm planning on creating a mobile application, and I need to learn how to use this technology. Uncle Randy made us a pastry item.
Super duper scone.
That's the name of it. And Aunt Rob brought up more alcohol so that we can have happy hour and make some drinks. Cheers!
Cheers.
Whoa. They're strong.
They're good.
Came out to show you a view of the backyard. The Colorado weather has been pretty good. You can see the mountains a little bit peeking through the clouds there. Dinner. Yum! I've been working on my college scrapbooks during quarantine, and got a lot of good memories. It was a little bit sad doing last spring's scrapbook pages because it just reminded me of all the events we won't be having this spring, but that was a different time in the world. This might look like a bigger mess than it was when I started, but we're actually doing better. I'm slowly working my way through college and getting all of the pages done. It's coming together really nicely, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm headed to bed, so this is the end of my quarantine day in my life. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I'm spending my quarantine and getting ready for spring quarter with me. See you in the next video. Bye!